So we are trying to find the maximal set of or subset of non-overlapping intervals from a given set of intervals, right? And we have seen two greedy strategies that do not work. Okay, so what is really a greedy algorithm that could work? Okay, that's what we are trying to understand. Now, oftentimes, strategy to kind of figure these greedy algorithms use these what is known as this exchange trick. Okay, not a formal name, but and the idea is you take some solution of the problem and try and see if you can improve it in some sense, right? So in our case, we maybe have some collection of intervals, which clearly our solution has to be a set of non-overlapping intervals, right? So maybe let's say we have these set of non-overlapping intervals that we have picked. How can we improve it? Well, in this case, improving means adding more non-overlapping intervals, right? So maybe there is another interval that we could add here. Okay, so we add that. Okay, and maybe one more here. All right, but maybe let's say now that there are no such intervals that we can put in these gaps, right? So all that is full. So any other interval that we add will overlap with at least one of these intervals, right? So there is going to be a conflict. So now, let's say what we try to understand here is there some interval that we can add to this solution and maybe remove another interval, right? Without making the solution worse. Okay, so in this case, what that would mean is if we add an interval, we have to remove at most one interval, because if we remove two intervals, then the size of the set decreases. Okay, so is there some interval that we can always add to this collection? Okay, and maybe remove another interval, at most removing one more interval, right? So the question we are trying to ask is there some interval that we can always add to this? Any solution. So this over here, we are depicting any solution. This is some solution. Can we identify one particular interval amongst all the intervals that we can always add to this? And maybe remove one of these intervals. Okay, so that does not reduce the number of intervals in this solution. Okay, and the answer is yes. We can always add the interval that ends first. Okay, so the interval with the least finish time. Right. Okay, so if you look at the interval which has the least finish time, how is it going to be? It's going to be something like this, right? It's going to be something like this. Its finish time is definitely going to be less than the finish time of this interval. Okay, less than or equal to. It could be that this interval, it ends right here, right? It ends right here. It has the same finish time as this, but the interval that ends first in the collection definitely cannot end later than this interval, right? So if we consider this interval that ends first, which has the least finish time, what we can clearly see that I can add this interval to this solution, and it is going to conflict, it's going to overlap with exactly this interval and nothing else, right? It cannot obviously overlap with any of these intervals because the start time of these intervals are greater than the finish time of this, right? And the interval that ends first, this interval, always its finish time is going to be before this. Okay, so clearly I can add this interval and remove this interval without decreasing the quality of the solution, right? In this case, they are going to be the same number of intervals. But this is a special interval, right? In any collection, I can always say that consider the interval that ends first, which has the least finish time. I can always put it in and maybe remove one interval without decreasing, without making the solution worse. Okay, and this is kind of a hint that for the greedy strategy that works. Okay, so the greedy strategy that works in this case is to greedily pick the interval that ends first. Okay. So that is actually the algorithm that works. Okay, so the algorithm that works is basically, if I can write it in recursively, right? We do this recursively. Pick the interval with the least finish time. Okay. And once you pick an interval, you discard the conflicting intervals. Right? Whatever intervals conflict with the interval you have just picked, you throw them out. Okay, and now you are left with a smaller set of intervals and you recurse. You do the same thing. You again pick the interval that ends first, you throw out the conflicting intervals and continue the process. Okay, so this is actually the greedy algorithm that turns out to be correct, that works. Okay, so why it actually works is not obvious. Okay, in fact, if somebody would show you this algorithm in the first place, you may not even recognize it as a correct algorithm. Okay, why this interval with the least finish time? What's special about it? Right. So you need to understand why this is correct, and we'll talk about that in the next video. Okay, but before that, I want to quickly maybe talk about the implementation of this. So if you had to actually implement this, you might you could probably write it recursively, but what is done maybe which might be more efficient is to basically do this iteratively. Okay, so iteratively what you would do is you would basically sort the intervals based on their finish time. Okay, why is that? Because we want at each step, we want the interval which finishes with the least finish time, with the smallest finish time. Okay, so let's write that. Okay, so we're sorting the intervals by their finish times. So the first interval now will be the interval which has the earliest, which finishes the first. Okay, and then right, at each step, well, the rest is the same, right? At each step, now we pick, basically we pick the next interval. Okay, so the next interval would be the one which has the next least finish time, right? With the next interval in the sorted order, right, or in the sorted list. Okay. And we discard conflicting intervals. Okay, so that is simply the algorithm. And when you write it, actually, when you write a program for this, you don't really have to, this discarding the conflicting intervals will happen. So supposing you pick you have something like this, okay, and let's say you have these three intervals. And so the way they are going to be sorted is this would be the first interval because it has the least. This would be the first interval. It has the least finish time. This would be the second interval in the order because it has the second. It finishes the second, and this would be the last interval in the order. Okay. So now, what you and whatever, maybe you could think that there are other intervals in your collection. Okay, but let's just look at these three intervals. So the algorithm would start by picking, of course, it would pick the interval that ends first. So it would first pick this one. And how do we discard conflicting intervals, right? How do we do it is basically you don't have to do anything special. You just continue considering the intervals one by one. Okay, so next I will look at this interval 2. And how do I figure out if it conflicts or not with the already picked interval? So I have my last picked interval, right? So this is the interval that I have picked currently. And I want to figure out which intervals conflict with it. Okay, so once I've picked this interval, I know the current finish time. Okay, so this is the time where the interval finishes. And basically, when I consider the subsequent intervals, any interval that starts before this point, right? If an interval starts before this point, then it has to be conflicting with this interval, right? So if the start time of this interval is less than the finish time of the interval that I have picked, then there is a conflict. Okay, so I'd simply iterate one by one over the intervals. So one, then after considering this, I look at this interval, I look at this, and maybe this, and so on. But when I look at this interval, I'll check if its start time is less than the finish time. And if it is so, then I will just discard it. Okay, and next I look at this. This one also will conflict, so I will discard it. Okay, the next interval that will be picked in the order is this. Okay, it has the least finish time amongst these three. So I look at this interval, and its start time, of course, is greater than this finish time. So it will be picked. Okay, and it will naturally be the interval, the next interval, which has the least finish time. Okay, because I have started by doing this step, by sorting the intervals in the finish time. So naturally, the order in which I pick the intervals will be the order of increasing finish times. Okay, I hope this is clear the way this algorithm works. Okay, so what would be the runtime of this? If you have n intervals, okay, let's say we have n intervals. Okay, how much time would this algorithm take? Well, this step, sorting the intervals, if you have n intervals, we can do it in order of n log n time. Okay, and what about this? How much would this take in all? Okay, we have to iterate over, we have to go over each of the n intervals. And we saw that this discarding really doesn't have to be additional work. It can happen when we consider a given interval, right? So we basically will have a for loop running from 1 to n, or basically a loop running 1 to n, and at each step we consider a new interval. Okay, either it conflicts with the interval that we have already picked, in which case we throw it out, or it does not conflict, in which case we add it to the solution that we are building. Okay, so clearly this figuring it out if it conflicts or not is just comparing the start and finish time. That is constant time. So I'm doing constant amount of work inside the loop, and I have the loop running on the n intervals, right? So n times some constant amount of work. So the total runtime will basically be the net runtime of this algorithm is basically n log n. Okay, and if you think about it, it's really a fast solution to compared to the, of course, the backtracking. Okay, in backtracking, the most naive version, you consider all possible subsets of intervals, and you see which one is the which one which subset does not have any conflicts, and you pick the largest one. Okay, so there are 2 to the power n such subsets, right? So the most that solution is simply exponential in the number of intervals, and here we are just doing it in order of n log n time. Okay, so that's the power of these greedy algorithms, that they typically are run very fast.